My name is Fatele Thomas Kehinde. I'm 24 years old and I come from Kogi State, and I was in school, but presently I am not a student. I'm not in an institution right now.
Kenny is a 24-year-old who is currently living with chronic kidney disease, stage 5. He was diagnosed with CKD at 23 years old, and he was completely stunned when he was given this diagnosis.
Before I got diagnosed, I wasn't even aware there was anything called kidney disease or anything. It just happened like in a flash and everything. And
the symptoms Kenny had included obesity, was getting tired, peed a lot, had difficulties breathing. However, due to the lack of knowledge as a common factor in Nigeria, Africa, or even at the world at large, Kenny ignored it and thought it was probably just one of those things.
It started with me having cramps and started with me having BP, like a high BP. Actually, during that time, I was like in a little relationship crisis. So I felt like thinking about the stuff was making my BP rise. So I was ignoring the fact that there was something wrong with my BP. So thinking that was the cause, but it happened. I went to the hospital and I was diagnosed. 2 years before then, I used to be very chubby. I used to be very chubby. So I felt like being chubby was one of the reasons why I get tired easily. And I used to have like a little bit symptom of asthma when I was a little bit young. So sometimes I have this heavy breathing and stuff. So, but I was considering that it might be my weight that was causing the tiredness and the heavy breathing. But the symptom that I had, that was one of the major stuff, was frequently going to toilet. I could visit toilet 7 to 6 times in a day. But it didn't bother me because I felt like if I can continue doing that, I will not be able to grow bigger while I eat a lot. So that was my mentality. So I felt like, okay, if I can just eat and I go to the toilet and I'm not getting bigger, so let me just continue. So it has been like that for a year before I was diagnosed. So my mom used to complain that, why is this, why is that? I'll tell her I'll go to the clinic. She will say, check yourself. I'll say, I'll go some other time. And that was how it was until I was diagnosed.
With this, we know that chronic kidney disease is a prevailing problem in Africa as of today. And with the steady rise of CKD that we've noticed over the years, it's quite important for people to know what's chronic kidney disease, because this is a silent killer that is taking the lives of not only the elderly people anymore, but for young ones, young adults, children, and in general.
I checked my weight as at April 2023. I was diagnosed in June 2023, but I checked my weight at April 2023 and I was 127. And let me tell you a very, very funny story. In April 2023, my mom was sick. She has BP and she's been diabetic for a very long time. So she actually had a little bit crisis then. So I was the one that stayed with her at the hospital when everybody had gone home. And that day, the doctor that came to visit her, he came and immediately he entered. He heard how I was breathing. He could hear my breathing from far. And he was like, is it you breathing? I said, that's me. He said, So he said, something must be wrong with you. Then he complained about my weight. He said, you're probably obese and you need to shed some weight. And he was educating me on how hypertension and diabetes can be hereditary, and me having too much weight can actually lead to that happening to me because my mom has diabetes and she has hypertension. So that's what we're speaking on. So he even told me about the possibility of me having kidney disease a month when I was diagnosed. And he told me, come to my office, let me write you a test, go and do it, and we'll check what's wrong with you. Maybe if I had listened, maybe if I had gone to him and I've done it, maybe I would have gotten diagnosis a little bit earlier, but I was just being ignorant.
There's a popular saying that ignorance is not an excuse, but ignorance is one of the things that are driving medical issues with people today. And being in the dark is not, going to save anybody, because there's a popular saying that what you don't know is not going to kill you, it's what you know that's going to kill you. We're going to see that knowledge is indeed power, and knowledge is what is actually going to save a lot of people from developing diseases or even ending up with complications that cannot be managed at all.
The way I was told was it was a little bit, I don't know, this is how I'm going to explain it. We just went to do some series of tests. They did like a general test, because when they checked my BP and they saw that it was high, I think the doctor was a Christian. So what he said was, I'm going to believe that you don't have hypertension. So let me just take this drug, go home, go and sleep. When you sleep, come back tomorrow, let me check again. Then I came the next day, he checked, he said, oh, your BP is still high, but I don't think you're hypertensive. So let's go and do a general test to see what is wrong with you that is making your BP high. So we went to the general hospital, we did a bunch of tests, and they were like, referred us to a nephrologist. So we got there and she just checked and everything. I didn't know what nephrology is then, so she just took like a prescription note and wrote chronic kidney disease and gave it to me and said, that's what you have. For like 2 weeks, I was just going on drugs. Immediately I was diagnosed, immediately she gave me the paper, or she said, first, I need to lose some weight. I said, okay. So she said I should stop eating bread. She said I should stop eating red meat and some other stuff. So I should just like shed a little bit of weight for that period. So I was not on dialysis immediately. So for like 2 weeks, I was just taking drugs and going to the hospital every morning to go and check myself, until like after 2 weeks, I was rushed to the hospital. Then the doctor now said, they have to do a test to know if the stage that I am. So we did the test. They said, okay, it's end right now, it's stage 5. That the only solution is a kidney transplant.
What's like your typical day today? What does it look like?
Okay, my typical day today is I do dialysis twice in a week. Sometimes 3 times, depending on how healthy I am. So sometimes I do some on Tuesday. It's like a 2 or 3 day interval so that I can get infection. On a normal day, after like any dialysis day is like an off day for me, because I don't really get myself after dialysis. I'm always weak, having a headache. Sometimes I get home by 3 before I sleep till the next day because I'm always tired. But the sleeping actually gives me energy. So like the second day or the third day after dialysis is like a day that I can actually get enough energy to say, okay, let me go outside, let me go and meet some friends, let me just be lively or for myself and stuff like that. But the normal day is just wake up in the morning, eat. I have to take my drugs. I've been on drugs for the past, since the time I've diagnosed, every single day in the morning and night, and I just stay at home, and sometimes I have to just go out because it's recommended at the hospital to, go out and see your friends so you not sit down and think about stuff like that.
One interesting bit of this conversation I want us to take note of is poor lifestyle choices, poor dietary choices, sedentary lifestyles cause a lot of damages to our bodies, and I would want us to take charge of our health today in changing our diet, changing our lifestyle choices, and deciding to show up for ourselves and be healthy.
Diet has actually changed drastically. I've stopped eating a lot of stuff. I've stopped eating red meat, and I can only eat stuff that I like to eat before, only a day before dialysis. So it's like a cheat day for me. So that I can try and eat sometimes I love eating beans, but I can't eat beans except it's on a day, except it's a day to dialysis. So and that's how it works. So it's just basically starch, the rice and everything. So I know what I know now, and I can go back. Every 3 months I'm going to go to the hospital and check myself. I'm going to watch what I eat. I'm going to try and eat homemade food than eating foods from restaurants. Those are the changes that we make. I am really hoping that this ends, because it's really, 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 really draining. It's really, really, really draining, and it's just being in a situation like this has made my life stagnant. I can't possibly move forward. I can't go back. I'm just stuck until maybe I get better, because I actually really, really want to go back to school. I want to go back to school. I want to continue my music career, but I can't now because I do not have the energy to do stuff like that until I get better. I'm going to survive. I know that I'm going to survive one way or the other. Whatever the vice is transplant, maybe it just happened. Maybe some people have said they have never seen it happen before, and I've met some people that said they have seen it happen before. So, and if it's going to be but I do not want to be ignorant, and we all know that the cure to this is a kidney transplant. So I just hope that I can get a kidney transplant, it should be successful, and I can continue my life. When I got diagnosed, in the first year, I was literally the youngest person that I knew that had CKD. But few minutes later, so few years or few months later, I saw a 16-year-old and I saw a 17-year-old. Last week, I saw a 12-year-old with bad kidneys, and it's just disturbing. And I really hope that maybe the government should do something on this, should be more researches on what is causing kidney disease, because it's getting rampant. There is no single day I go for dialysis, there will be a new patient to be calculated. Why? This is not malaria that you are going to use a 4,000 naira or 6,000 naira drugs and you're getting back. But we are spending thousands every single week. It's actually really, really, really disturbing. Is it something that we eat? Is it the air that we breathe? I think there should be more focus, there should be more research towards kidney disease, because it's not a joke. It's not a joke. It's a killing machine. Not many people can survive. Ever since the time that I've been diagnosed, it's going to be 2 years now in a month time. I've only seen one person that survived with kidney transplant. The rest of them, I know 4 or 5 people that are done kidney transplant that did not survive. So it's not a joke. There's no guarantee that even if you have money to do the transplant, you're still going to survive. So it's not a joke. It's something that I feel like there should be energy towards. Because if it does not affect you, you will not know how serious it is. But it doesn't have to affect you before you try and do something about it.
Advice do you want to give to people or to anyone?
The advice that I'm going to give to people is go and get your kidney tested. Get your kidney tested, do a general test all of your organs, because when it happens to you, it's not cheap. It's not malaria. It's not something that you are going to spend. It will cost you money that you don't have. And seriously, I thank God for myself. that I am still alive today. I know a lot of people that I am friends with that they are dead. Like literally all of them, every single person that I was friends with, whenever I go for dialysis, that we talk, that we just, that we are hoping that we survive together, all of them, they are dead. So it's not everybody that has that grace that we have this and survive this long. Many people do not last this long. So, and it's better. They say obedience is better than sacrifice. So it's better you just check yourself, you prevent it from happening than it happening and you trying to look for a situation. I wish I had knowledge. I wish I had this knowledge before this happened. I'm sure this would have not happened. I'm sure that I would have found a way to prevent it, but that's why I hope that there is more awareness so that people can understand that this is not a joke.